I'm not an unfrosted donut anymore. I have plenty of sprinkles, plenty of glaze. I might even be jelly filled.
Oh wow!
So
he got the presidency, and then he died. Yep.
But I mean, if I had to compare the DCs to a team, I mean, who else could you compare them to but Joe Biden?
I'd have to go with Richard Nixon. You know,
We all love John Adams.
Yeah.
Who gives a crap about John Quincy Adams?
so if I had to compare the Green Machine to someone, I'm gonna pick Hillary Clinton.
Oh!
there you go. So keep your eyes out, DCs. You know, we might know what you're up to.
So he had his presidency, but it was by accident. And that's how his championship was won.
When you think of the Creamers, you obviously think of donuts. You have to think of a president and donuts. I've got to go with Howard Taft.
The other
So close, so many times.
was Donald Trump. Because a lot of people are like, shut up, man.
Hello, League. Welcome to Canton, Ohio. We have a great panel here this weekend, and we're going to be going over some hot topics before our free agent draft coming up. All right.
Let me just say something real quick.
Okay. Go
Don't
ahead.
just call this a panel, because how many championships are sitting on this bench right now?
7.
And he doesn't say, you guys already knew it, okay, watching this video. 7 out of the 9 championships. This is royalty,
That's right.
I shall say. This is royalty. And Chris, I just want to say thank you for moderating this panel. I think
Of course. I mean,
great
clearly
job.
I'm not qualified enough to be on the bench
That's true.
with you guys, so
That's right.
maybe one year. Maybe one year.
Championship bench.
Very nice. All right, guys.
Step in. Keep
Oh,
his
yep,
corner.
absolutely.
For sure.
Okay. Well, we are, as I can see on your guys' shirt, we are in the home of McKinley in his Presidential Library Museum birthplace. Is that right?
That's great.
If you don't know, he was the 25th president in the United States. So, since we're here in his hometown, we want to continue with the presidential topic. So, I want to throw out some team names at you guys, and I just want you guys to evaluate, who they are, their roster position, where they stand in the league. Kind of look at that and then compare them to a current or former president that comes to mind. So, I'm going to start with maybe an easier one. How about the Dynasty Champions? Any thoughts on what president the DCs might be?
The DCs. What president most envelops the characteristics of the DCs? Anybody want to?
What do you
Take
think,
that.
Beast?
I would have to say, I got a couple on mine, but I'm going to go with William Henry Harrison. He got the presidency, and then he died, like a month after he got into office. So he's pretty much a dead on arrival kind of president, like the DCs.
Okay, yeah. So you think his current standing in the league, is kind of just non-existent? Just not making a big mark on history?
Not making a big mark on history.
Might be in the league, but as long as he's paying dues,
Yeah.
we're fine with that here.
Are you implying that the D in DCs stands for dead?
Oh,
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess that's what it is.
there we go.
I think that's a good assessment from the Beast.
Yep.
But I mean, if I had to compare the DCs to a team, I mean, who else could you compare them to but Joe Biden these days? I mean,
Yeah.
You watch Joe Biden giving a speech. Does that guy have any idea where he is? Does he know where he is
No.
at any given time? I mean, we were just talking. No. And when the DCs are setting their lineup, do you honestly think they know what sport they're these guys are playing for? Are they aware that they're in a fantasy football league?
That's true.
Yeah.
I would think that's a good assessment.
Yeah, so I'd probably have to give it to Joe Biden, our most recent,
Joe Biden.
our current president. That's
Okay.
probably most similar to the DCs.
He did have that one time he drafted Philip Rivers. He wasn't in the league.
Right?
I wouldn't be
Oh.
surprised if he tries drafting Joe Theismann maybe next.
Yeah. Maybe for the good of this league, we should consider getting the DCs some help.
Yeah.
They might need to see a medical professional.
Okay.
So, yeah.
There you go. So Joe Biden or William Henry Harrison.
Yep.
Couple of presidents.
Clearly unfit to be leading that organization over
Yeah.
there.
There you go.
So that's fair enough. Okay, very nice. I have another team name that I would like some input on. How about Patrick and Mr. Yunt? Where do you think they stand? What president do you think that their roster, their team, their organization, recent or past,
So
would compare to?
I would, I don't know. Patrick's kind of there. He won a championship a couple years ago, but I don't know. I kind of feel like his roster is kind of nondescript, kind of fading. Like, who's he got? And I would say, Patrick, I'm going to compare to Warren G. Harding, because when you talk about Patrick's roster or you talk about Warren G. Harding, people say, who the hell is that? So, I'm going to go with Warren G. Harding matches Patrick's team.
Not sure. I don't know what to say to that. I'm not sure who that is. So
Warren G. Harding. Incidentally, he's another president who died while in office.
Okay.
So maybe that's another.
There you go.
Because this roster, I think, might be dying.
The
Although he
DCs
has,
and
he has a couple of players, but Matthew Stafford and Warren G. Harding fading.
big issues there.
Any others that might come to mind?
Well, I think he could be a Grover Cleveland, perhaps, right?
Okay.
Because we have a Grover Cleveland. He's president, goes away, and then comes back.
That's true.
Patrick has, achieved the championship. He's gone away. Could he come back?
Yep.
Could he be the next Grover
He
Cleveland?
was in one Super Bowl, went away, and came back. So yeah, I could see the Grover Cleveland with a split presidency. Yeah, that would be a good one too.
Absolutely.
No.
No, those are all great answers, for sure.
Okay. Who's next?
All right, our next team on the docket might even be sitting on this bench today.
Oh,
So, Austin, I'll open up to you. Maybe you have some thoughts on a president for the Beast. Do you think you can think of any president that could compare to where the roster is today or in recent years?
oh boy.
I think if I had to pick a president, I'd have to go with Richard Nixon. Because I know when Nixon came on the scene, he was pretty well liked as a public figure for a while. Then things started to come out later on, and maybe this guy's not great. Maybe he's doing some shady things, and I think we're all pretty aware lately. There's a video at 10 for 10. You should watch it in case you haven't.
10 for 10.
That maybe the Beast organization is not as
I am not
truly,
a crook.
and not be as always cracked up to be. Maybe not the good Samaritan we thought he might be.
Yep, a couple of scandals going on, a little Watergate, Deflategate action maybe.
Yep.
Ooh,
Showergate.
that's
that
true.
Was the thing.
Showergate,
Showergate.
Yep. All the different ones. So maybe we'll have a Beastgate in the near future,
Hey,
if he keeps on winning, that is.
can I say presidents that I think I should be?
Go right ahead.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt,
Oh.
3-term president, 3-time champion. Now that could also be Ryan's. My other thought was George Washington, because he was the president right from the start and a big. Now I didn't win the first Super Bowl, but
That's not looking like a good comparison.
a lot of people compared Washington to a god, which this league does with the beast. So I can see where that comparison. And I do think monuments will be built in my honor before things are done. So that's why I would say Washington or Roosevelt.
Okay.
That's just my 2
The
cents.
Beasts are a legend of this league.
Yes.
They are a legend of this league. I have to say that.
You cannot argue that. And statues will be built as little Sasquatches running across.
That's right, little Sasquatch going up in the National Mall.
Exactly.
Granite Squatch.
With granite Squatch. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's a good name.
All right. Here's another good one. I'm interested to hear what the answers for this one will be. Could get some varying results on what president this team is. So I want to open up to whoever wants to share about the Green Machine and what's going on over there.
Ooh, I have a present
Please.
for the Green Machine. If I had to compare the Green Machine to one president, I would say John Quincy Adams.
Okay.
And you know why I would say that?
Why?
Because nobody cares about John Quincy Adams. Right? They care about John Adams. And John Adams is right here,
Ooh.
a founding father, just
All right.
number 2,
All
the
right.
second, to win.
Second
And
champion, I get it.
We all love John Adams.
Yeah.
Who gives a crap about John Quincy Adams? he was the smart, intellectual son, but what did John Quincy Adams do?
Yeah, that's
Couldn't
right.
tell you.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, and what has
That's a good comparison.
what has the Green Machine done in this league?
Oh, gotten close.
They've gotten close.
They got a presidency, but they didn't do nothing with it.
Need I say more?
That's right.
I'd like to add in something.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think important thing, we talk about presidents for these guys, but a president has to win something. They got to win an election in order to be president. And we know the Green Machine, they've had a lot of good rosters. They've been favored a lot, but no wins. So if I had to compare the Green Machine to someone, I'm going to pick Hillary Clinton.
There you
Pretty
go.
highly favored, but in the end, don't see her in the Oval Office. So
Mm-hmm.
Good roster, right, but didn't
Excellent.
come through.
No.
And has people killed
Uh,
nearby.
also with the similar to Richard
Yeah,
Nixon.
it could be.
Fine.
Opponents maybe call them a little crooked.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Along those
Crooked
lines,
Hillary.
so.
That's what Trump called it. Crooked Hillary.
There you go. No, that's really good.
All right.
It's good to hear about, in this area, it being in McKinley's hometown, to hear a little presidential comparison to the Gotham City Batmans. And one neat thing I learned about McKinley today is that the way he did campaigning was he would have people come to his porch. Beast, you want to share a little bit about how he orchestrated that?
So in the election of 1896, instead of going out on a speaking circuit, McKinley stayed at his mansion and had groups come to his house, and he would give them speeches off his porch. So that's how he campaigned, and he won, and he was very popular. So yes, that's how he did it.
That's interesting. Yeah. And so when you think about that, it almost comes off to me, at least, a little arrogant, using his popularity to his advantage. Is there any teams you think in our league that kind of fit that nature, where they expect people to come to you to make offers to you for trades and, kind of carry that attitude in our league?
Well, let me just cut the beast off before they answer, because you got it right when you said McKinley was arrogant for expecting everyone to come to him. I mean, look at this guy. Every time we have a draft, he just expects us to go over to his house.
Come to my
so
house.
He doesn't have to do any, so he doesn't have to do any work.
That's right.
He wants it easy. He wants
Yep.
it easy, and
Me and McKinley.
He just thinks it's so cool to make us do all the work for the drafts.
Come over to my house.
So, yeah,
Yep.
unbelievable.
That's right. Under my front porch speeches. That's what I'll do. And you're right. So me and McKinley
Absolutely.
are similar.
Absolutely. No, and yeah, that's great.
Yep.
He's able to accomplish so much, but
Yep.
you know, maybe have it handed to him a little bit. But hey, that's how presidential campaigns work.
Yeah,
Not like how fantasy football works, though. Not at all.
well, we'll
Hey,
see.
let me just say something real quick, and let me maybe ask this question to Austin.
Yeah.
Today, and we'll throw up some pictures for you guys. We went to McKinley's tomb.
Mm-hmm.
Don't we think that me as commissioner, I deserve a tomb of that nature, of that scale? Like I should get something like that when it's my turn.
No, wait
What'd
till
you
you
say?
see the picture of this tomb. It's nothing like rye bread should have. No.
I think like if we asked the local landfill if they have some extra land, maybe we can build something for you there.
In the dump.
In the dump. I've done so much. I've done so much for this league. I've accomplished so much. How do I not deserve that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm offering it. You know.
he was also assassneted for a reason.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I mean,
You never know. I don't know if you want that to be your fate.
Don't go to
There's
Buffalo.
I think there's a grassy knoll out there across that outside that window. So.
That's right.
Okay. Yes. Well, yes. This is a very presidential city here in Canton, Ohio. It's also historic for other reasons, as we experienced today. The Hall of Fame. Any thoughts on how your guys' experience was with it today?
it was great.
Yeah.
There was so much football history there. A lot of interesting facts that I didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Get to see the busts of all the players. A lot of people got elected in 2020. I'm not sure why, but a lot.
Big clubs.
year, big changes.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was awesome. You know, as someone who is going to be in the Hall of Fame one day, it's just great, you know, to be able to, you know, check out like where I'm gonna be, like who I'm gonna be next to with my bust, and you know, just get to know those kinds of things. So it was cool to scope it out, and you know, see some of the pioneers.
Right.
You know, get ready for the future.
Man.
Yep. The Hall of Fame was a fantastic experience. We were there for 6.5 hours, and I still could have done more. It was outstanding. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Well, yeah.
a great experience.
Ryan brought up a great point about the Gotham City Hall of Fame and what that might look like in a few years, you know, maybe even today, and then also in 20 years. You know, what bus might be in that wonderful hall that we saw today in our league. And so I just wanted to start by, you know, maybe as 7 champions sit on this bench here today, I want you to make your case, and then I also want you to share maybe a player or two on why you think would they make your own personal Hall of Fame on your own personal team. That would
And
help you
our
get-
own
Yes.
roster. That's a good one.
On our team.
Hmm.
Yep. So, Beast, do you think you are worthy of being in the Hall of Fame?
Absolutely. I played in over half of the Super Bowls, won 3 of them. There was a section of the Hall of Fame that focused on the dynasty teams. You know, the Packers and the Steelers and the Cowboys and the Patriots. And boom, that'll be one section for the Beasts, for sure. So that'll be there. My bust will be there. And yes, it's going to be a big part of the Hall of Fame. And for my own team, I really think there's only one player that I think will be in the Hall of Fame, and that is Davante Adams, a wide receiver. So I think Davante Adams, and probably the second best chance would be Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
So that would be my two.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
They've had long careers. They'll maybe even be in the Hall of Fame that we saw today
Yeah.
one day. So,
What do you think?
yeah.
So, well, for me, I think the biggest thing is when you think about a lot of Super Bowl history and the kind of the early Super Bowls, you don't necessarily remember a lot about them. But what everyone remembers is Joe Namath
Hmm?
and the guarantee in year 3 of the Super Bowl that Joe Namath said, "Oh, we're gonna win." And I think there's another person, maybe here, right here, that said, "Hey, in 3 years, that our team is gonna be lifting the championship trophy," and we did. I think that alone, just how insane that is, and just deserves to be enshrined. So that's my
Absolutely.
case.
Absolutely.
As far
Alright.
as far as my team right now, I mean, I think fantasy wise, Aaron Rodgers, he is just a recent acquisition, but he's had a lot of success in overall and a lot of success in our league. I think he deserves to be on there. Another guy, maybe not on my roster right now, but was on my roster and is a person that both of these guys are familiar with as well, is Mr. Drew Brees. Is pretty famous for having the 3 in a row championships, from me to Ryan to
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Mr.
true.
B over here.
1, 2, 3. Absolutely.
I think any 3-time champion, especially 3 in a row champion, deserves to be enshrined. So
Okay.
Hmm.
That's good. Sounds like yeah, they got your vote.
yeah,
And it's hard to argue against
There you
that, for sure.
Oh, all right, Brent.
Let me just get straight. You're asking me if you think my team's going to be in the Hall of Fame?
I'm
Is
actually questioning it. I would say. I think that's a better word for it.
Is he really asking that? Is he really asking that question? Do we even have to go there?
Right.
I mean, you guys heard what I had to say. We already know what it is. Okay. And which one of my players deserves to be in there with me? A better question would have been, which players of yours won't be in the Hall of Fame?
Oh God.
Because there's way too many to count that will be in, and there's maybe only a handful that won't. And we don't need to mention them, so I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Baker
Our,
Mayfield.
McKinley arrogance is coming out again, as number 25 does.
25.
Hmm. Very nice. No, I'm very excited to see our own personal Hall of Fame, and you know, as soon as we retire parts of our team and then maybe ourselves, we'll have to investigate that and open it up. But now, today's issues, we have a free agent draft coming up, just later this month. So, Beast, are any thoughts on the direction that your team could take? Do you have a lot riding on this free agent draft? Is there anything could swing your way or not that might change the your trajectory of the season?
No, I'm like a lot of teams. I won't have a lot of money to go spending,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll have to see what's out there and what I can get, what I can afford. And I have my core pieces, and that's what I've got to ride this year. But I do think my core pieces are going to be strong and competitive, and if things break right, trophy number 4.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, Rybrad, any thoughts on your free agent draft coming up?
On my free agent draft, well, we all know what just happened in this league between a trade with the Rye Bread and Mike Vick in a box organization where Rye Bread successfully shed $50 in cap space to the Mike Vick in a box, to open up some more room to make some plays. So I think we're going to be very active in the free agent draft, and some of these teams think they can just swoop in and take anyone they want at cheap contracts, and maybe Austin can talk about that, because Austin's been a big player recently in the in the trade market, taking some of these guys that might be free agents. But the truth is that it's going to be, I'm bringing the heat in the free agent draft, and no one is going to get easy deals, because I'm going to be like a shark in that water. And Austin, maybe you can talk a little bit about what's been going on and some people that you may have some beef with potentially.
oh, beef. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, from what I've
Yeah.
heard.
I mean, I know it seems like the DCs were kind of just hanging on, hoping people like Aaron Rodgers just fell to waivers, fell to the draft, and he can just scoop them up because he's got the money, because he's got no one else.
Yeah, that was definitely something I was looking at. I plan to have a lot of money for the free agent draft, but you see the DCs. I mean, obviously their team doesn't have a lot of people worth paying, so they're going to have a lot of extra money for the free agent draft. And I thought, oh, I can't. My team's obviously much more desirable to be on, but I can't compete with the kind of money. So why don't I just go straight to the source, grab Mike Evans, grab Aaron Rodgers. I know I can keep him on the salary I have right now. Don't have to give up much to get him, and that way don't have to risk it, maybe Scott getting him or whoever else has the money for him. So keep him nice in-house, and now I don't have to worry too much about the free agent draft.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you lock your guys in when you can. I totally agree with that. I think Scott wouldn't, if I am being honest. So do you think he might be taking that personally, that you're kind of out to get him with those moves? He's the one who can take the most advantage of guys like that sitting out there. So do you think he might take offense to that or see a rivalry forming there?
He might. As of right now, I don't think I'd be worried about that rivalry game. I feel like I like my chances. But, it's nothing personal. It's just business, right?
Absolutely.
I made the offer, he didn't, so there we go.
Okay. No, I think that makes sense. So keep your eyes out, DCs. We might know what you're up to over there in Cincinnati. So, all right. Yep.
Couple more presidents.
All right.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
First, I'm gonna go with this guy sitting right next to me. I pick a president that matches Mike Vick in the box as President Gerald Ford. Gerald Ford is the only president that was president that never got elected. He won it by accident, like a Stafford fumble. And when Nixon got kicked out, Ford took over as president, and then he lost the next election. So he had his presidency, but it was by accident. And that's how his championship was won. So that's one.
That's easy.
I'd like to interject a bit. First of all, if you look at the presidents overall, Gerald Ford was easily the best at football. So I take that as a compliment. Second of all, if I had to compare me to a president, I think I'd go with Martin Van Buren. He had great facial hair. I also have great facial hair. I think that's really the only comparison that matters.
There you go, Van Buren.
Looking at the important things.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then
I love to hear-
we
yeah.
were trying to find a president that matches Brendan's team. Heroes Dynasty deserves, and we had a couple of suggestions. One was Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, yeah.
Because people might think he was a president, but he never was. Like, he thought he was in the playoffs, but never was. The other
You're so close. So close. So many times.
was Donald Trump. Because a lot of people are like, shut up, man.
And
Just playing, Brendan. That's all I had.
the heroes.
Sorry, heroes.
Always get to hear it about their playoff woes. And
Hey, says Brendan did make this league great, just like Trump made this country great again. So
We're gonna make this
That's
league
true.
great again.
absolutely.
I don't know. That was just another presidency that made us think. But that's it.
Any other good connections to presidents? Maybe on the teams we haven't mentioned yet.
I was thinking of maybe the Krispy Kremers.
Oh, yeah, the Creamers.
I think, when you think of the Creamers, you obviously think of donuts. I'm about to think of a president and donuts. I've got to go with Howard Taft.
Oh.
So I'm kind of thinking, you know, and you did, you know, Taft is a big gentleman. You started out in the league with a big cap hit. But I think, you know, I think it's a pretty good comparison.
William Howard
I
Taft.
think that's fair. No, and there's worse things than having a team that's stuck in the bathtub, as he has done before in the White House. But you know what? Krispy Kremers, they have been in the White House. They have been close to that. So I just want to call out real quick that about this time last year, I was being ranked very consistently, even by members on this panel today, to be in the bottom 2, even 3 of the league last year. So I just want to bring that up again, that I'm not an unfrosted donut anymore. I have plenty of sprinkles, plenty of glaze. I might even be jelly filled.
Oh, wow.
So it's a quality donut coming in, and it maybe it's a Long John too, because it will last into this year.
All right.
So just be on the lookout. And yes, I'm aware of who was making those comments last year. So
That's right.
I'm excited to see the new preseason rankings again. But on the topic of Boy Docs, a recent thing that I've been seeing and reading about is how Green Machine, given the Beast's continued success and my new era of success, is Green Machine a bottom Boy Doc? Are they the
Wow.
number 3 now in the family? I don't know if anyone outside of the family wants to speak on that before I turn it over to the
Oh man,
Beast.
you know, that's something I haven't thought about. But when you say that, you know, we've got Mr. Beasts with the 3 championships, and we got the Krispy Kremers just coming on strong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with only a few seasons in the league. So I think at this point, it is pretty clear that the Green Machine is the worst Boy Doc in fantasy football, at least at the moment. You know, it's probably. I mean, just if you just look at the trends and the history, I think it's true.
He can be close, but he hasn't gotten it done. So
What do you think?
I still have to rank Green Machine second. He was the runner-up for the Super Bowl last year. You got to give him that. He's been in a couple Super Bowls, and he hasn't gotten it done. But until Chris gets to the Super Bowl, I can't put him above the Green Machine.
Well, maybe if I was in the league 8 years or longer, that wouldn't be a problem for
Yep.
me.
See
It
how
might be
that
for
goes.
the other Boy Doc. But time will tell, maybe. Time will tell. All right. Does anyone else have anything you want to share or ask any other members of our panel?
Well, I think we should comment on the teams we haven't commented on yet.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I'm having a hard time coming up with presidents for Austin Tees and Cody and
Koalas.
Koalas. So I don't know if anybody's got anything for those, but
I think I have something for the koalas. So we know recently there was a bit of a scandal. The koalas really wanted Quentin Johnson,
Quentin Johnson.
and he didn't get him. Shin Moon got
And
him,
that's the other one we haven't mentioned
and
is Mun Dynasty.
there was reports that maybe Shinwoo got a hold of Mr. H's draft plans. So, you know, when I'm thinking of carelessness with documents, you know, maybe Donald Trump would be a good comparison there.
There you go.
Trump or Biden hiding
They be hiding.
hiding documents.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what the Mun Dynasty was doing.
Maybe.
Stealing documents from the koalas and knowing his plans.
Mm-hmm.
That could be. Yeah, and that's another little dispute we have in this league that we're going to have to watch and see how that develops. Because there's a rivalry there. Yes, for sure.
Let me just make a Mun Dynasty comparison, if I may.
Yes.
How about Bill Clinton?
Okay.
How about the Mun Dynasty and Bill Clinton? Because, you know, both are fantastic public speakers. Would you agree?
Yes.
Great on the mic, 100%, and they're great. But here's what I want to make the comparison of. Bill Clinton, and Shimon, I'm not suggesting anything, had a big scandal into his presidency, did he not?
I've heard
Yeah,
about
sure.
it. Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he was impeached. But at the end of the day, he really didn't get punished, right? Because he got served both his terms. Nothing bad really happened to Bill Clinton.
No.
You know, and, you know, last year we have Shin Woo become the Waffle Bowl champion and have to spend, you know, a certain amount of time in Waffle House and, you know, eat waffles. But at the end of the day, Shin Woo goes to Waffle House. Shin Woo's at Waffle House for what, 2 hours? And then, you know, he eats a couple waffles, and then what, 10 league members come help him out, eating 2 apiece. So Shin Woo, you know, he gets this punishment, but at the end of the day, he doesn't really serve it. Much like Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky.
There you go. Another comparison of our presidents.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
Maybe that's someone we should have compared the DCs to. Monica Lewinsky, because he just sucks.
We should probably close on that.
That was good. That was
Excellent. Excellent.
That's
That
funny.
was the perfect discussion to our presidential conversation that we just had.
There you go.
So well done. All right.
All right.
Awesome. Bye, guys.
Shout out from Canton. We'll see you guys
Go,
later.
go McKinley.
Let's go, McKinley!
McKinley!
25.
2-5. Awesome.
Krispy Kreme coming to you from Canton, Ohio. Gonna take on these stairs, get to the top. All I got is $125, box of donuts,
Good morning,
and a dream.
everyone. Welcome to the Stark County Step Into Autism. I am Laurie Kramer, the Executive Director of the Autism Society of Greater Akron. Thank you all for being here today. We are going to give shout outs to our amazing sponsors throughout the day, but we do appreciate all of you being here, providing those needed resources to the families who live in Stark County.
Oh, yeah.
Enjoy yourselves today. We will walk at 11 o'clock. But in the meantime, please visit with our sponsors and our vendors
Let's go.
who have some great information for everyone.